Marfoogle TV live in 3.
Welcome you to Marfoogle. I'm Marfoogle News and the Marfoogle fam. The Marfoogle family.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam A.K. Marf, and this is Marfoogle TV. We're going to go over a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, so let's get right into it. Zelensky seeks Patriot systems from the U.S. to counter Russia's power grid. Counter Russia's power grid. It says that, again, President Vladimir Zelensky said that Monday he wants to order 25 Patriot air defense systems. And again, make sure that you understand that keyword order, right? This isn't received for free or gifted, right? From the United States as Ukraine desperately tries to fend off relentless Russian aerial attacks that have been bringing rolling blackouts across Ukraine on the brink of winter. Here's my prediction. We're not going to give them to them. You know why? I think that we are so low on stuff that we are not going to sell stuff like this. I think that they're going to probably say no. And maybe they'll make it like a, oh, well, we don't want to do that because we're not getting involved kind of thing or whatever. I mean, we're obviously already knee deep in it. But again, we have said no to other things because I think secretly we are down and we're actually needing to protect ourselves in the next 2 years. So again, that's what I think. We'll talk about this and more when we get back. We will be right back right after this. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. If you have not already, it helps us out if you end up going through any of our affiliates, and it helps you out if you end up protecting yourself against cybercrime. NordVPN is one of the best and one of the easiest to use. If you do not have a virtual private network, it protects your IP address, which is your online identity, which actually connects to your real address and everything else. It also connects to you. If you know anything about how they are data logging and basically getting your profiles down, you can prevent that by having a VPN. Nord is, again, one of the easiest. Download it. It's like an on switch and off switch. All you have to do. Go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Not only will you get a giant discount on this, but you will also be helping us. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate everyone that goes through any of our affiliates. Can't say thank you enough.
I said welcome you to Marfoogle News. I said welcome you to Marfoogle. I'm Marfoogle News.
All right. Hey, nice to have all of you. I saw so many great people. Keisha, Jim Boyles, all of our wonderful mods. Of course, Jammer1. Thank you, Bobby Sue. Thank you, everybody. Based, Ranger Girl, William Swan, and so many more. Members, Zadizia, J-Pass, and so many more to count. Thank you so much right off the bat. Rochelle Cooley, thank you for not only being here for years, for giving us your time, but also for gifting out badges to other Foogle family members. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. All right, let's get into it. But before we do, let's bring in my most important co-host / internet brother, Dex James. What is going on and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
All right, so we have just an absolute flamboozle of news today. So let's go into the next story, which is Iran's water bankruptcy and what it will do to the regime.
Well, yeah, we reported on here not too long ago about how Iran was facing this really bad drought and literally running out of water in Tehran, the capital there. It's even been said in the past months now that they ought to even consider moving their capital. That's how bad this drought is coming. Well, now you've got the UN saying, hey, it's so bad that it's going to actually, threaten the regime's stability and their nuclear ambition. So that's coming directly from the UN. So the director of the United Nations University Institute for Water Environmental Health said Iran's worsening water bankruptcy, as they're calling it now, would impact the country's ability to function and weaken its position on a global stage. This water bankruptcy weakens Iran on the world stage, Madani said, speaking as a quote on this. He said, if they want to stick to their ideology and fight with the West, they must use their natural resources and burn them. So there is no water, there's less resilience and less capacity to resist. So, and it's funny because I know that even I think Israel at one point had offered desalination units to Iran for
before the war.
Water. Yeah. Well, no, even after, I think they've offered them again during this drought period, saying if you need that tech, we will give it to you. And of course, they would be checking them for booby traps, I'm
Is that
sure.
an admission of guilt, though? Did they do something in some of their strikes to hit their power plants that we didn't talk about? Because I don't remember them hitting
Well,
water facilities, but maybe they did.
well, the water, it's literally a land issue. Their land has
Yeah.
been, they've had a drought, and the way the water seeps into the ground there. Matter of fact, we've covered the fact that the city of Tehran is sinking
Yeah.
because of the way the land is structured there, and it's just so dry, and they have not had enough water, and it's the worst of all times for them.
Yeah, Tehran, right? Yeah. Tehran is sinking, and here's the thing with they everything's popping up about this. Yeah, they said that the whole city is actually sinking, but here's my thing is, was this something that was done somehow, that something that us civilians don't even think about? Are they doing something on a grand stage, and I mean changing things around in the world to make this happen? And I'm not trying to be all foil hat here, but we don't know what the governments of this world have. And Israel, next to the U.S., their tech is right there. I mean, hand in hand. People think that we're so far more advanced than Israel. I think we're just a bigger country. Really, they go back and forth. I mean, they're holding hands. So I wonder if they have access, or if the U.S. did something for them, right? Maybe that's why they offered them desalination plants, maybe not just out of the goodness of their hearts. The only reason I say this is because all of the governments of the world, I think, probably have by now some way to finagle what's going on around us. If you catch my wind and air and ground and shaky ground and fires. So, yeah. All right. And then let's get into the next piece, which is, of course, NATO allies have been gearing up for submarine hunts. And this is something that is very clear. Germany's first new Poseidon just arrived. Now, not only have Poseidons on the move, we have Marfoogle family members that follow all of these planes, that are tracking all of the flight radars, and they're saying that obviously something is going on in the background, right? Germany's first P-8A Poseidon maritime patrol and reconnaissance aircraft has arrived in the country. Now, there's a reason for this. There is a significant upgrade in how many submarines are active, including, we talked about, North Korea is actually potentially has some sort of new submarine that they haven't talked about yet. That was in the rumor mill. It's acquiring 8 of them for the U.S. With the option to obtain 4 more. So this is a good thing for our national debt, because they're buying them from us, right? Germany is one of several NATO allies acquiring more anti-submarine warfare capabilities. And the thing that obviously us as preppers think about is the fact that all of these countries are preparing for a world war. The submarine hunting capabilities are because the submarines are on a level that we've never seen before. Obviously, just in the last year, we've seen so many instances where major countries are even popping up or having issues with their submarines. But more so ever than the last 8 years I've covered news, we've seen all of these pop-ups of submarines. That tells me that that's a sheer kind of numbers game, right? It's a ratio. The more submarines that are out, the more likely something will happen, that one will have to pop up, or one that's seen. Most of the time, they pop up because they want to be seen. They're sending a message, right? That our triad is active. Our triad is all around you. We can get to you where nobody else can. That's the kind of message that usually gets sent back and forth. But the submarine hunters, that is something that you see directly correlate in previous instances with our, much, much simpler submarine hunters of World War II that came right before World War II. Dex, what did you think when you saw that Germany's acquiring 8 and possibly 12 P-8 Poseidons to watch for these things?
Oh yeah, obviously great for the military industrial complex, but obviously a clear sign of what's coming. Like, they know they need it. The potential risk of Russian subs and maybe even Chinese subs, for that matter, off the coast around Europe as this war potentially moves beyond Ukraine is critical. And it seems like that's everything they're doing, is prepping for the next phase of this war.
Yeah, P-8A Poseidons are maritime patrol and reconnaissance aircraft made by Boeing and developed for the U.S. Navy, armed with torpedoes and anti-ship missiles. They can carry out a variety of missions, including tracking and engaging submarines. Now, over the last year and a half, too, we have found that they are developing a special kind of missions for even cargo planes. Hence, there's been a lot of talk about sabotage to UPS and even FedEx planes and big cargo planes, because now cargo planes can actually launch missiles at ships. The thing is, they've now essentially made a missile that would drop out the back bay in midair at 35, 40, 50,000 feet in the air. A cargo UPS ship in a wartime, or in the time of war, would be able to load these missiles up and then basically just drop them. They activate and then they go to their target. So they don't have to have a launching system. They just need to drop in the sky from any kind of craft. And that's something that I think that needs to be taken into account, especially when you think about this. You see the same thing in vice versa. Obviously, China has turned almost every civilian ferry, cruise ship, and anything that holds a certain amount of people into essentially a landing ship. They've added 160-foot bridges to it. Well, in reaction to that, essentially the U.S. and other countries are now working on systems to negate that kind of system. And even land systems on beaches and things like this, that they're coming out with ideas, and different people, some of the smartest people in the world are working at solutions to stop one of those 160-foot bridges from landing on any one of the many beaches in our world. So yeah, I just wonder what the heck, if you see the counteract of something like this. 8 is a lot for just Germany. I mean, I guess, how many countries? We have a lot. Russia has a lot. China has a lot. You don't see too many of the NATO countries with too many of these things. So up to 12 is a big number. And before we move on, I want to remind you, and I didn't say this in the last video, but this has just started today. There is now, I've told you guys, and obviously it's not a good thing for us to tell you to wait. And I did. I told you guys to wait because November is the best month. We have Black Friday, we have Veterans Day. Now they've done the biggest sale that they have in 4 years for the EMP shield. So if you've been waiting and you've been listening to my advice, which is to not buy, again, this is the time to get it, because now you get our $50 off per device, and then you get 25% off on top of that. To put that into perspective, it is a giant chunk off. It is the largest sale they've ever done on top of our grandfathered in $50 discount. And that stacks on top of everything. So if you get 1 device, 2 device, 3 device, there's not, again, just go and watch your cart and you'll see the huge discounts. This is, again, the biggest sale they've done in 4 years. That's why I told you guys to wait. And again, this is going to be for the Veterans Day sale. So make sure to go and check it out. marfooglenews.com/EMP. This is the same tech you can't get in the store. This is the same tech DOW, Department of War, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, of course, Air Force, FBI, all of them are quietly stacking up with this kind of stuff. And I mean exactly this kind of stuff. So if you want to protect yourself, nobody's going to do it for you. If you look at events like North Carolina, New Orleans, Hawaii, California, obviously you're not going to expect somebody else to come save you. You're going to have to work on your own. If the power grid goes down for any reason, you want your stuff to be protected. If we get hit with a CME, this also protects against a Carrington level event. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. Code MARF is going to get you that $50 off on top of their giant 25% off of every item sale. So make sure to go check it out. Again, up to 25%, and you can combine multiple coupons to save even more. All right. Yeah, you'll never hear somebody say wait and don't do it. I did, and I've done it all month, and I know that a lot of you are in hard times, especially some of you are in really hard times right now, and I'm praying for all of you. All right. And then let's go over to Belarus. Dex, Belarus leader threatens to seize over 1,000 Lithuanian trucks stuck by the closed border. What the hell is going on here?
Well, if you remember, we talked about the balloons, the weather balloons that were coming across, and they blamed it on smugglers smuggling in cigarettes via these weather balloons to get them across the border. But of course, with all of the drone activity and other aerial activity happening into the NATO countries, Lithuania doesn't buy that story. And in response to these weather balloons continuing to cross over and disrupting their air traffic, had decided to close the borders with Belarus. It's a major, there's 2 border crossings, I believe. But there are also major trucking routes that come through for all the way, I guess, from China for that matter. But anything from the east moving into the Western Europe can go through that area, and they do go through Belarus. Well, now that they closed those borders, in response to them closing the borders, Belarus said, you know what, you got a bunch of trucks that are now stuck on my side of the border. I might just seize them. So that's the latest in the back and forth between Belarus and Lithuania.
Which Lithuania, Romania, of course, Estonia, all of them have had just this crazy one story after another of something going on. See, I think it's something much more innocent than that. Like this picture, I think he's just giving people directions to target. But again, that's just me. Don't worry about my tinfoil hat. All right, and then we have, where's Sergei Lavrov? Rumors swirl over the fate of Putin's foreign affairs enforcer. Real quick, I do want to remind you guys that you can go over to our website for a full bibliography of every single article, tweet, video, picture, document that we're showing you here. Somebody asked, is any of this sourced? All of it is sourced over on marfooglenews.com. In fact, when you go there, really, really cool. Not on top of all of the information being there, you have links to different tweets, videos, pictures that you can go to on every show that we've ever done. You also have a tip line over there. You can go to the main show and buy thumbnail. You can find all of our shows. You can actually search it, archive. You can say, hey, Muamua, or you can type in 3-1 Atlas, and you'll get all of the shows with 3-1 Atlas. So very, very good resource. Make sure to utilize it. And then also there is a tip line. If you guys have a story, if you want to get your story out there, make sure to go check out MFN Tips line. We are always taking submissions there. If you have some sort of crazy story, then submit it there. All you need is a simple email. Again, it's not required. If you want us to be able to get a hold of you back, then make sure to leave it. All right. And then Sergei Lavrov is supposedly missing, right? And this is kind of odd timing. There's rumors about Putin potentially being, perishing or being sick. We just talked about over that on news. I don't find anything. Their evidence is BS. Their evidence is essentially saying because he's got veins on his hand. I have seen, I have a couple family members in their late 50s that have huge veiny hands, especially men that work out will get veiny hands in their mid 50s. So he's 70 plus years old. I don't find that to be like a super gotcha reason for why he's dying. Nor do I think of a former picture of him a while ago holding onto the table like he's not trying to do a doo-doo in his pants. Like, those two things do not tell me he is dying. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, as far as this, I always look at the timing, and look at the timing of this and this lining up. The same day they come out with, where's Sergei Lavrov? The potential worry here is, if you're not catching the drift, is they're potentially saying that Putin is dying, which if he's poisoned or something happens to him in the next couple days, then they've already set it up and put the seed into your mind that he was sick, that he's, close to the end, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Whereas Sergei Lavrov, he's all of a sudden missing. Is this a setup, or is Sergei Lavrov been paid off $10 billion in an offshore account and now he's hiding? They're going to take out Putin and put Sergei Lavrov as the puppet. I don't know. I think that's very unlikely. But again, what is unlikely anymore? It's 2025, 6 years past one of the biggest debacles our planet has ever seen. So, what the hell is this? And this is kind of odd because I've never seen them do it so fast. We didn't hear from Medvedev for 3 weeks or 4 weeks. We didn't hear from certain generals from a month and a half, and that's when they started talking about it. Dex, did you notice they've done this with Russia a few times, but they've usually done it after a month and a half, no public notices. He just did something on November 9th. I'm pretty sure he did an interview. I was looking this up because what I wanted to find, Dex, is what was his last public statement? Did he say something he wasn't supposed to? Because remember, Lavrov said something that was very controversial and shocking that we covered, which was basically saying this is a party of war, and that, basically I think he was the one that said that this was an act of war or whatever we did a couple days ago.
Yeah, they may not have completely silenced him, but in the sense of sidelining him from, say, the G20, where he's always attended, and now all of a sudden he's yanked from the bill. I think that's where people are starting to question, okay, well, did he, is there a falling out going on, right?
Yeah, they said, is he ill? Has he been fired or perhaps fallen out of a window? Yeah, I mean, all possibilities with Russia. Or he was asked to audition to play a cartoon moon on a TV show. I don't know. But what I do know is that it's odd timing for this to come out. It is not too long after he actually did pop out. Obviously, the G20 sideline is why people are wondering. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. And again, thank you so much to Rochelle Cooley, and thank you, Miss Dragon. Thank you for hitting 30 months. That's absolutely huge. Miss Dragon says, Happy Veterans Day, everyone. Much love. Hey, and it actually was nice. We had a lot of drama this weekend. And it was nice that the kids had not only Veterans Day, but they also get like another day off. So it was just a really, really perfect time for this holiday and to just have family time. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate all of the veterans. Obviously, we were going to do something at the end, but I do want to say, obviously, I've posted many Veterans Days on Twitter about my thoughts about it. I feel like a lot of veterans get forgotten, and everybody does the cliche like, oh, we always, respect our vets. But not many people really take the time to actually go thank them and to really, really mean it. And it's really sad. I just saw a video, speaking of veterans. Dex, did you see the video of the 100-year-old gentleman? I think it was British television, talking about his service. It was just recent.
No, I missed that.
It's really sad because he talks about how he said on primetime television, I don't know what angle this TV show went, but this video shows the 100-year-old veteran, a World War veteran, World War II, and he says it wasn't worth it. He goes, look at what the world has come to. He's like, looking at where we're at right now, our sacrifices weren't worth it. And it's really sad to hear something like that, especially a day like this. Almost all of us have some sort of veteran in our family. Most of us here, especially in this group, because we're all preppers that are one or two people away from somebody who was there. And that's probably where some of the kind of prepper sense came from, is military family or friends. And, there's just been so many that have changed their lives forever, that their entire personality, they don't come home the same. They don't come home mentally the same. And I just want to say that, I thank you guys. I thank you, even if you're waking up right now to the world outside, that it doesn't feel like it's worth it. I do want to disagree, and I do think it's worth it. There are still people that are fighting for good. I still think that there are good people that genuinely care about the freedoms that you fought for, even though our entire structure of the planet is getting shaken right now. In the end, I think that it will be all right. Stephanie Munoz, thank you for 29 months. Says, I love the fam. Thank you, Stephanie, and I appreciate you being here. And thank you for everybody that has made it to show after show, no matter what the inconvenience or different time factors. So thank you guys. Dex, can you cover South Korea's ousted leader Yoon indicted for flying drones over North Korea?
Yeah, so as the saga continues with Yoon, he's now facing more criminal charges as prosecutors alleged Monday that he ordered those drone flights over North Korea in a deliberate bid to stoke the tensions and justify his plans to declare martial law. So they're saying it was all part of the elaborate martial law scheme that he was putting together. So Yoon set off the most serious political crisis, obviously, in recent history, when he imposed martial law back on December 3rd of 24. And he sent troops to surround the National Assembly. He was later impeached and removed from office and is in jail standing trial on charges including masterminding a rebellion. Mind you, what they don't necessarily say here is that he had, his suspicions that the government was infiltrated or being infiltrated by those that were in support of China and in support of North Korea, and that, he was trying to prevent that in doing some of the actions he took. Obviously, he didn't win. They overpowered him, and he was ousted. Now,
it doesn't say anything about it.
Yeah, now they're going to continue to, layer on more and more to the story, just to basically put down in the history books and make sure they can squash the whole notion that the Yoon supporters and Yoon himself and what they were fighting for, whether it was true or not, we'll never know if they continue to squash it down.
Now, this is a really big deal, and I think that most of you know why I believe that. So, Yoon, right? And I'm gonna ask what was so controversial about President Yoon's claims about North Korea during his martial law. Okay, so remember, this is very important because this is one of our allies. This is potentially one of our really high-tech allies, and they are potentially infiltrated by China. He claimed that his government was being infiltrated at high levels, and he declared a martial law to basically clamp down. It was national emergency. For 8 hours, the entire country was on martial law. I mean, if this happened in the U.S., imagine President Trump saying the entire country is on martial law, and he declares it at night. All of a sudden, there's curfews. You can't go out, and the military is in charge for a matter of hours. Right away, somehow, they overdid his presidential power like that, right? They stopped this martial law. Within 8 hours, they stopped it. It says President Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of emergency martial law on December 3rd, 2024 lasted only a few hours before being overturned by the National Assembly, which he says is infiltrated. But it sparked massive domestic backlash, his eventual impeachment and removal from the office. He said the controversy surrounded his claims about North Korea centered on accusations that he exaggerated. They're just saying it's as fact. When you read this, it's saying that he exaggerated or fabricated North Korea threats to justify an unconstitutional power grab. What is he power grabbing for? While smearing political opponents as traitors, that's a bias. By the way, Grok is biased in this. And is pulling from all of the media, because all of the media is across the board on the same page on this. And you know when that happens, it's usually some sort of propaganda. And it says to justify an constitutional power grab while smearing political opponents as traitors. Prosecutors later alleged he even orchestrated provocations to incite North Korea retaliation as a pretext. Now they're saying that he was flying drones over. I bet he was trying to get proof of something, or he was flying those drones to catch the troops. Mind you, when he was in court, the day that he was physically indicted, there were 1,500 North Koreans on his border, on the border of the country. He was circled. There are so many people that did believe in this and that were behind him, that his actual soldiers, he had 160 something soldiers that were protecting the actual presidential palace or house or whatever it was, the blue house, I think it's called, or whatever, the greenhouse, the different colored house. And I believe that this is part of a way bigger picture with the entire world, because you have China finally doing what the U.S. has always done, which is regime changes, puppeteering of countries, and menagling. Now you have China doing the same thing, and with high-tech, extremely important allies. He got taken out, and now he's made look like a fool. He's made look like an idiot. He's made look like he was crazy. He's now made look like he's they've actually portrayed him as like the Asian Trump. How many countries are going to literally just put Trump's face on and paste it onto whatever candidate they don't like? Canada's done it. North Korea has done it. France has done it. Mexico did it. Brazil has done it. The one with the A. All of them have done it. Now they've just put our president's face on whoever they don't like, and then everybody's like, oh yeah, because now social media is global. What we see as our messaging and our propaganda, that is the messaging that the entire world watches to. When Brazilians go onto TikTok, they're watching us. They're not watching their Brazilian people. So they've got the same mindset. And that's what's so crazy. How people do not see the brainwashing when you have Brazilians, French people, Canadians, no matter where you are, Australians. They did it in Australia too. All of them think that they have a Trump. Are people not putting two and two together? That's because they're watching our brainwashing. They don't have a Trump. They have different cultures. They're totally different places. But yet, in the last 6-7 years, all of a sudden, every country has a billionaire, you're fired dude in it. I don't understand it. People don't know when they're being brainwashed. And that's why we ask the important questions. And hopefully people will start asking them too in your friends and family circle, because we're getting close. All right. Dex, do you see what I'm saying? Am I communicating that right?
Oh yeah, certainly. Everywhere you turn, there's they try to make a reference to someone and call him a Trump-like candidate.
Yeah. And even if you hate the president, understand that our messaging shouldn't be in other countries, right? But the thing is they've globalized. One thing they have globalized, if not our borders, is our social media and what people are watching. When people go to the movie theater in China, what movies are they watching, folks? They're watching ours. If you go to France and watch movies, you're watching ours. They might be subtitled or they dub them, but they're watching our movies. They're watching our propaganda. So that's something you have to really think about and go, how did this spread so fast globally? Well, it almost seems like during 2019 and all of that, it's like somehow it was like they were out on the streets setting up for what comes next. It's just so crazy that after that and before 2019 and after 2019, we live in a different world. Remember when they said go back to normal or the new normal? There is no normal anymore. It's gone. It's been gone, and I hope and I pray to God that we will get it back, because this isn't normal. None of this is normal. People aren't normal. The division in your family is not normal. Kids not talking to their parents, parents not talking to their parents is not normal. Nothing here is normal. And I pray that this somehow gets fixed. Officials issue a warning after several sightings of dangerous hammerhead worms. Don't kill it, don't squish it, and don't cut it up. Dex, you want to talk about this? And I actually didn't get back to you. I almost thought of how they've been putting in the back of our head about the whole Chinese agricultural smuggling and things like that. But what did you think about this?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So this is native to Asia. It is not part of our culture, not part of our normal habitat here. They've been spotted in North Texas. They've come out significantly because of the rain. And it's very easy to recognize. It's like a 12 to 15 inch length worm with some people call a demonic looking head, also known as a hammerhead worm. The reason it's so dangerous, it eats earthworms, and the earthworms actually are part of our soil ecosystem. And without the earthworms, our soil will not maintain its richness. It won't stay in balance. And so this is actually an invasive species, not meant to be here. And now they're finding it everywhere. And Texas agriculture is telling people also don't squish it, kill it, or cut it up, because it is also, poisonous to you. It'll give you a nasty rash. Anybody that touches it is part of its defense system. So, but it just got me thinking, like when we talked about those scientists that were smuggling in engineered species and things from China to study they warned us could be part of agricultural bio events. And I'm not saying that that's what this is, but this is a good example of one of those types of things from another part of the world that doesn't belong here, that because it doesn't belong here, there is no natural balance in the ecosystem to control its habitat and to feed off of it. So therefore, it's going to just completely erode out the earthworms, and then that will cause major damage to the soil.
Yeah, so somebody says worms. Yeah, well, and again, I was joking with you. What was that? JPass says Chinese snuggling. Now that might be a niche, but that's not. This is news. But yes, smuggling and the agricultural. We've had recently two scientists or two professors, somebody that was working with a university, trying to smuggle in agricultural bio stuff that was really bad for our country. And even after one person got arrested from jail or after they were imprisoned and released, they then even tried sending it again. And they connected them to the CPP or CCP. So that was what the angle on that. But on top of that, there's been several stories we've covered over the last year and a half where they're potentially trying to smuggle in stuff that would screw our farms up, right? Like Dex said, if these eat the regular earthworms that give you good soil, anybody who's ever gardened in your life, you know, they might have a bin with dirt and they put a bunch of earthworms in it because the earthworms go in, and I don't know how the process works, but they make the soil awesome. They eat and they poop it out and they make fertilizer and they make it awesome soil. Now, without that, you have bad soil. And it makes me wonder about what other countries this might be happening in. But this thing is 12 to 15 inches. It's like this big. So it's unmistakable. You're not going to mistake this thing for a regular worm. Let's see here. We have Rashid, Alicia said flathead or hammerhead worm. Silky Smooth says, I'm smashing it. See her think, J-Pass, see her think. Again, thank you so much for being here. Susie Q, no problem. I'll see you on the replay. Andrew Simpson drops Homestead. Crowbait. Yeah. I haven't complained about our crow problem, but we have crows that have ripped up our entire lawn for the worms. We've now just fixed it by killing the worms in our lawn, which is funny enough after a story like this. But yeah, the crows have literally torn our lawn off completely. MJ, Mikey, Courtly James, Curb Creeper, nice to see you. Rocco, Andrew Simpson, friggin' snakeworm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, over a foot long. That's the stuff of nightmares.
Well, they say if you see one, put it in a bag, catch it with gloves, catch it in a bag, and then you can dissolve it with salt and vinegar.
Now, they said don't cut it, squish it, because it can come back to life, or like, is it like a normal one?
Its defensive mechanism is that it is poisonous.
That's right.
So it's going to give you a rash. So it teaches other animals not to mess with it by giving them a nasty rash.
So this is an apex worm predator then. That's something that's terrifying for farmers, I'm sure. And then before we move on, speaking of farming, if you don't have food around and you don't have a farm outside your window, then you might want to go check out. They now have started their Black Friday sale for Harvest Right. And that is, again, a huge, huge chunk off. Again, you always get a good deal with our code, but now you get an even better one. At marfooglenews.com/freeze, you can get up to $1,000 off on their Black Friday sale on some of their most impressive machines. As far as this is a way that you can actually freeze dry your own food. You don't have to go and buy it pre-made, pre-packaged up. You can seal your own Mylar bags full of freeze-dried food that's according to your diet. Again, this is something that turns into a hobby for most because it is actually fun for most people that do this. You can choose what kinds of foods. There's almost anything and everything under the sun that you can freeze dry. Including meat, fish, all sorts of different poultry, obviously, and then fruits, veggies, anything in your garden. If you have a huge garden, which I know some of you absolutely do, then you are wasting a lot of that. It goes into, compost, or it doesn't get eaten fast enough. So this is a great way to preserve it for up to 25 years. Go check it out, marfooglenews.com/freeze. These were, during emergency times, these absolutely dry up if there is an emergency. Like in 2019, people were waiting in line to buy these used, waiting for a wait list to buy these exact machines during the whole CV thing because everybody's freaked out. You don't want to be one of those people last minute that's getting something, or after a storm hits and the power's out, going to the freaking, auto supply stores trying to get a generator. So yeah, make sure to get one of these before a disaster and take your time and have fun with it. marfooglenews.com/freeze, and make sure to enter to win one as well. You have a free enter there. You don't have to purchase to do that. So either way, it's a good idea to go over there. marfooglenews.com/freeze. All right, and then Hands of a Killer. Shocking new pics show Putin clenching fists in agony as bulging veins on aging hands spark fresh ill rumors. Now, I'm not going to cover this much because we already kind of talked about this. I'll show you the two pictures I was talking about over on news. Nor Dex or I think that this is a reason for, that he's dying. It looks like he's angry. Personally, he's looking off camera behind this woman, and it looks like somebody said, maybe it was Sergei Lavrov. Maybe Sergei Lavrov was like, hey, you should ask for a number or something. And he's just like pissed off, and he's like, okay, there's a window right in the back of the 8th floor. Let's throw him off. But they're saying because of this vein right here. That's the new thing. He, of course, is clenching his fists with... He's going to be a horrible fighter, too. He's got his thumbs inside of his fists. Maybe it is also something where he's doing like a fiddly factor. He's doing his nail. He looks angry to me. But that vein, he is 70 plus years old. How many of you in your 50s have that same vein that's popping out? I don't have any veins of mine, but I have, brother 10 years older. He's got them, and I don't think it's crazy. The other picture that they mention is him clenching. And if you look at this, first of all, I think he has makeup probably. So what Hollywood stars have you seen, especially women and men in their 50s, 60s, or 70s that are on the, you go, oh my gosh, they look so great. They look so young, their neck, their chest, it looks like they've had surgery. But one thing that I've always noticed is you can't really hide the hands, especially on certain presidential wives, you just can't hide them, right? But as far as the hands here on what's her name, the redhead that used to be married to Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman still looks like she's like 40 or 35 in some cases, but you look at her hands, you can tell her age. That's something that a lot of stars can't hide, and they don't want to get surgery on. But as far as this photo, tell me what this, honestly, look at this and tell me this does not look like somebody who ate tacos the night before and is desperately trying to keep tacos in. That's what I see. He's like holding his lips together. He's like, oh no. And I only know from personal experience, so I'm sorry. I think nobody wants to admit it, but I think most of you have probably grabbed a table or two this way as well. But what do you guys think? Is he dying because he clenched his fist and you can see a couple veins? I don't personally think so. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Dex, it's like the scary part is what? What could they do with this?
Well, I mean, look, they're just planting the seed in our minds so that if he does go out, they've got, they can say, look, we told you it was going to happen. And now something can come along and sneak something in his food or sneak one by the handlers and, put him out. And that's, they can blame it on his health.
Ilea says that looks like a Putin mask. No, I said the same thing in the first Marfoogle news video, which you guys should go watch. We talked about other stories as well. But they have body doubles. A Fugel family member that used to work in the Secret Service back in the 80s said that there was limited times that they would actually use them. Most of them were like, and I've called this out before back on the first term of the President Trump, that when he was in the car driving by and he was waving, and then all of a sudden he was on a potential boat that one time. I don't know if you guys remember that, where it was waving and people thought maybe he was in danger out on the ocean or something. But in that case, it was like he was spotted in two different places and people thought, oh, maybe that was a body double that was in the car waving. That's exactly the purpose that they use them. When they feel that they are under threat or there's a potential threat to the president and they still have an appearance to make, they'll reduce it to like a car drive-by, or they'll do something like that, and they'll put a body double in. Or if it's something that's not necessarily something they even have to speak at, they just have to show up, they will put the body double there. Or if it's something where they want to show strength and have the body double, walk through a town or something, they'll have them separated, at least a few feet away, and then have the president walk through the town. But it's really not the president that is putting himself in danger. It is a body double. Unless it's Mexico, where that lady gets groped because they don't have Secret Service. They have some sort of service, I guess. But you get my drift. A lot of people are saying that this looks like a Putin mask. If you don't think that that's possible, I would highly recommend going and watching some videos on what they can do, what they could do 20 years ago with these masks. This, to me, does not actually look like Putin. And that sounds kind of tinfoil hatty, but look at his eyes. What the heck is wrong? This is like somebody took an imprint of him and then pasted it over another guy. Somebody that's older or less fit. Because that is the one thing. He works out a lot. And
probably uses those nutcracker things and really strengthens his hands so he can hold on to bears. I don't know. But what I do know is a lot of people are saying that does not look like him, including myself. I'm not saying it is not him, but Dex, did you look close up at the face? He looks like a Gumby.
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely he looks more healthy in that picture than the older picture where he's gripping the desk. His face is much more chubby when he's gripping the desk from a few years back than he is here. So he looked, he does look, I think he looks healthier now. And by the way, in Mexico,
I don't think he looks human. He looks like an alien.
They don't have Secret Service. They have sneak up service. You sneak up behind you and
that was a good one. Was that from chat or did you?
No, I just kind of.
You're the creator. Okay. Yeah. All right. It's Dad Joke Monday. All right. Username 3544. Thank you. Hey, Ilea, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for modding. Bobby Sue, thank you for for modding, and thank you for all of the fun times. From Miss Dragon, thank you. Rochelle Cooley for being our top supporter tonight. I appreciate you. Stephanie Knows, I appreciate you as well. Thank you for all of those folks that are watching quietly in the replay. I thank you. Make sure to comment. That seriously helps us out with engagement, with being shown to new people. So thank you, and thank you. All right, you guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you, Sailor Spirit, Stephanie Minoz, J Pass, See Her Think, Briar Patch, thank you. And Dex, thank you for your service today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Much love. Great job, brother.
All right, you guys, have a wonderful night. It is now time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. What is going on with that?
I'm Marfoogle news and the Marfoogle fam, the Marfoogle family. I say I just want to see every one of you prepping. I start 'em, da-dum, da-doo, da-dum,